Hi Virgo, welcome to your year ahead reading with me, Raphael Ray from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. So, let's go straight into your reading, shall we? This is for the year ahead. I hope you enjoy it. I would like to bless both of these decks that I'm about to use with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I hope that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's see what the year ahead has in store for you, and I just want to say thank you so much to all of you for all of your continued support and being part of the Radiant Reality family. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. So, January, you've got the Chariot and you have the Three of Cups. So awesome cards, really amazing cards. You have a very, very strong, very quick start to the year. So January is going to bring you... So what is the Chariot card, first of all? For me, when I see the Chariot card, it talks about a victory, it talks about a yes. It talks about finally getting the yes to an answer that you've had or to a question that you've had. The Chariot is very much a success card. It's very much a card where when you see it, you are told yes, you can have or you can achieve your dreams. So if you have a specific idea, a specific goal that you're going into 2018 with, January is going to be, firstly, it's going to have a lot of strength and a lot of power behind it, but it's also going to be kind of setting the tone for the rest of the year, setting the intention for the year, if you like. And one of the things that I've always loved about the Chariot card is obviously you see the two sphinxes there. That's about the balance, and it's about striking a balance between the material and the physical world, the spiritual world and the practical world. But it also talks about the left and right hemispheres of the brain, which means it's, you know, when you can utilise both aspects of self, the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, and you know, have things in perfect balance, you can then really start to generate and create something of lasting substance. The other part of this is the Chariot card is a very quick card. Like I said, it's very fast, it's very finite, you know, it's very much a card of getting things done, making things happen, and it's a success card, it's a victory card, so it's a really, really strong position that you start the year out in. One of my personal favourite things about the Chariot card, though, is although it is a chariot and it's being pulled by these two amazing sphinxes, you know, the light sphinx, the dark sphinx, and all of the things that they represent, there's actually no reins on the card. If you look at the, you know, you can't see any reins, and what that says to me is that this is about steering your life or taking your life in the direction that you want it to go by sheer force of will. And that's a really powerful position to be in, because it means that you're effectively bringing change about by your willpower, by the way that you want it to be. And then you have the Three of Cups. Now this is brilliant, and I'm going to go into the numerology of this as well, because it's a really, really strong start to the year. So then you've got the Three of Cups. What is the Three of Cups? The Three of Cups is happiness, it's mirth, it's get-togethers, where most people's year will probably start off a little bit slower, you know, because it's after the holiday season and, you know, people are just kind of getting back to it and just starting to gear up in all of their resolutions and whatnot. I think January is going to be quite a lively and active month for you guys. I think it's going to be quite a fast month. It's going to be quite a strong and paced month. Now, the exciting thing here, oh, and also for some of you, this is going to be about birth. This is literally actually a baby happening. Why do I say that? Because this card represents the sign of Cancer, which represents the mother, and the Three of Cups can also represent a baby or birth, or something being birthed into the world, something that brings joy. So for some of you it will be a project that comes to fruition, for some of you it will be cementing the very first steps of a goal, and for others it will be literally a baby coming into the world, or somebody finding out that they're about to be a mother. And why do I say they're finding out they're about to be a mother? This is the sort of thing that happens, you know, it's not like the conception, it's not any of that. This is somebody finding out that they're pregnant, like they're like 3-4 months pregnant, and they haven't even noticed. You know, it's that kind of energy when you see these two cards together. The other part of this as well is you've got the number 3 and you've got the number 7, which is the Chariot. That gives you 10. The number 10, obviously, you know, in numerology is about completion, it's about accomplishment, it's about attainment on a practical level. And, you know, the interesting thing is here, is you've got Cancer, which is the moon and ruled by the emotions, but the Chariot card is very much the exoskeleton of the crab, whereas the High Priestess is more like the watery world of her. And then you've got the Three of Cups, you know, and this giving you the 10. This is very much a watery energy, but it's about making something tangible out of a lot of emotional energy. But either way, you start the year on a really, really good note, a really strong, powerful note. So let's see what February has in store for you. Okay. You've got the Five of Swords, fraught communication. So, and interesting, you pull the Star card in the month of Aquarius in February. So, the Star card, the Five of Swords, talks about fraught communication. When I see this card, I usually say to people, if you're having arguments or battles of will, do not diminish who you are and how you normally do things and the integrity that you usually uphold just for the sake of winning the battle. Because you'll lose something in the process of doing so, just to prove your point. You know, and why would you diminish yourself just to prove a point? It's just not worth it. And then you have this, the Star card. Now the Star card is a beautiful card. It represents hope, it represents the attainment of your hopes, of your dreams, it represents a glimpse of being able to make something real. It represents having a glimpse of being able to make your dreams come true, you know, very much. And this is you starting the year in that position. But then when you've got the Star card here, you know, on top of the fraught communication, because the Star card represents Aquarius, and because it represents Aquarius, it talks about the group. So I'm going to go ahead and say to you, if you find yourself kind of on the outs of a family situation or with co-workers and stuff, think about the way that you respond to things. Think about, you know, are these people saying this just to hold me back, or are they saying it because there's truth there? Now, one of the things that I always say to people is, if you hear the same thing from people who are totally disconnected and don't even know each other, that's the universe giving you a nod to say, look, you need to hear this. So you'll hear the same phrase many times over from several different people. And it kind of feels to me that you're going to hear the same words or the same phrase, which is the fraught communication, or the words that you would rather not hear, from several different sources within the world, Aquarius, within the tribe. So it could come from family members, it could come from friends. And if they're all kind of singing from the same tune sheet, there's got to be some kind of underlying tagline for Aquarius, truth to what they're actually saying. Now that's not to say don't defend yourself, it's not to say don't stand up for your viewpoint, but if you're hearing the same thing from many, many people, there's usually some reason for that. So pay attention, Virgo. Okay. March. Oh, beautiful. I'm not pulling anything else for March. March is your month. March is where you're, I mean, you start in a really strong position. In February you have, not a moment, but I kind of feel like you have some words with people where you have some moments of having to step back and decide what it is that you want to do, how it is that you want to do it, and who's going to be on that path with you. Then in March, you have the Sun card, which is just absolutely stunning. When you get the Sun card, it's the lightest, brightest, most powerful card in the deck. And when you get the Sun card, it's telling you to go for it. It's telling you that you're protected. It's telling you that you're blessed. It's telling you that whatever it is that you want to make, build, do, see, whatever it is that you can envision, whatever it is that you can imagine, you will create. The other part of this as well is it's the follow-on, because you have the Star card first, and then you have the Star of 17, the Moon is 18, and then you've got the Sun card, which is 19. So these are kind of progressions on from each other. And the interesting thing is sometimes when you have the Moon card, it's about things that you're not seeing clearly. But actually, if you can get to grips with what people are saying to you for your own good, and really take it at that value rather than just everybody wants to attack me and I'm right, you come out of it not only the victor, but you actually gain something from it that's beautiful, and it gives you kind of like a clean slate. That's what the naked figure on the sun represents. The inner childlike you, the part of you that is untainted and unfettered by life, that's not conditioned by the world or the upbringing that you had. It's the part of you that remains pure. It's your soul, effectively. You know, in the heart and the soul and the centre of the being that we all are is the divine spark of God, and that, you know, I very much see the sun as that kind of, it's that kind of energy. So March is a great month for you, really, really great month. Whatever you decide to do, whether it's travel, whether it's work, whether it's start a business, March is your month. That's where things really start to take off for you, and it's where you're really blessed. You're in a strong position. Ooh, okay, so for April, you've had 3 pop out, and I'm just going to go straight in with these, especially after we've had the Sun card there. So you've got the 2 of Swords, strong psychic abilities, deeply trusting your feelings and your intuitions. Again, you've got a group of people, interesting, because this is the second time you've had a group of many people come up in your cards. And then you've got the Justice card, which actually is quite linked to the 2 of Swords. So that's really interesting there, and as if you're looking at this as a motif. So this is about trusting your feelings, and it's more importantly about trusting your feelings in relation to the group that you're working with. And then you've got the Justice card, contracts, legal matters, documentation, it is the law, it's, you know, all of those things combined. When I see this, it kind of tells me that in the month of April, you guys are really going to be having this experience of learning who to trust, learning to be more discerning, but more importantly, you're going to be putting in place, I kind of feel like you're going to be putting in place it's almost like the structures or the documents that you need to work within a specific group, or to be a part of a specific governing body, actually is probably closer to it. So for some of you, this is going to be about, you know, becoming part of a recognised body or organisation. And the way that you're going to do that, even though, you know, this is very much on a practical sort of mundane level, because it involves, you know, a lot of tape, a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of having to be within the guidelines and uphold certain values and things. I kind of feel like your feelings are going to be a big part of this, because that's what the 2 of Swords is. It's a psychic situation, or it's you reaching out with your feelings and trusting your intuition, as opposed to just going with what you can see and sign. You know, so interesting. April, you know, the Sun card blesses you in March and opens the door, and April allows you to walk through the door and be supported by the right type of people, but you will know when to sign, and more importantly, what to sign. May. Let's see what May has in store for you. Okay, so the Judgment card and the 9 of Cups. I mean, this is lovely, actually. So the Judgment card is a blast from the past. It usually, when I see this card, I always say to people, this is something coming back at you, coming back around in your life to that you thought was over, that you thought was done, that you thought was dealt with. Now, it's interesting that it falls after and sort of next to this Justice card, which I find interesting. And this, I kind of feel like there's some kind of paperwork that you have forgotten to sign, or more importantly, it will be some kind of application process that you've put off previously because you didn't have time, or, you know, I want to go back to school, but I have, you know, and I've thought about it, and I just don't have time, and life gets in the way, and da-da-da-da. It's kind of like one of those things that will just keep coming back around until you finally get done what you need to get done so that you can move forward. But when I see this, so this tells me that May is going to be a month where very much you're revisiting things, where you are visited by people from your past. You know, they come back at you. And the beauty of this is that you've got it with the 9 of Cups. So the Judgment card is bringing up all of this old stuff, all of these people from your past, all of these situations, and then the Nine of Cups is giving you the ability to transcend them or turn them into something tangible now. So if it is an application process, it's blessed, because it's the Nine of Cups. It's emotional fulfillment and contentment. And the other thing about the Nine of Cups as well is it's a wish fulfillment. So this tells me that the month of May, a wish that you've had previously, I would have liked to have done this, I would have liked to have done that, I wish I could have. That wish, you get the chance to revisit it, and in May you actually get the chance to have it come true. You know, so think very deeply about something from your past that you never got to do that you wanted to do, because May will be the month when you are most likely to have a revisitation of that and be put in a position where you can revisit it and, more importantly, complete it satisfactorily. And that's why the Judgment card comes up in life. It brings things back around to us that aren't finished. You know, we thought it was finished, we thought, you know, oh, I never got the shot and I just had to live with it, it's a broken dream, or it's a lost dream, or, you know, a wish that I never got. Well, the Judgment card brings that, or the person or the situation, back to you so that you can re-examine it and really close it off in a way that is satisfactory to you and the universe. Because don't forget, guys, it's not just about you wanting a goal for yourself. The universe, God, whatever you want to call it, Chi, Allah, Buddha, they want that for us as well. It's a mutual reception, because when we are better and we achieve the things that we want and that we love, that we feel guided to do, we're better people. And when we're better people, we're better for those in the world. And that's how it works. You know, there's a duality to this, and it's a mutual receptivity as well. And then you've got the wish fulfillment card that comes along to say that thing that you thought was done, that you would never get another shot or chance at, you get another shot and chance at. And this time you can heal that wound or seal that wound. And not only will it no longer be a wound or a scar, it'll actually be a blessing and something that, you know, comes into really full glorious light. So wonderful, really, really wonderful. June, let's see what June has in store for you. Five of Pentacles and the Emperor. So interesting, because you've got, you know, these really good bits here, but I kind of feel like this is linked to the justice thing, you know, and this goes back to contracts and signing things. So firstly, the Five of Pentacles, it's a lack of finance or a scarcity of finance, and you know me by now, I don't bullshit you, I just tell you what I see and how I see it. So the Five of Pentacles is that it's literally not having enough. It's worry about not having enough as well. It's a worry about not having the finance that you need to achieve a goal or to complete a goal. I feel though, especially with the Emperor there, that this is unnecessary worry in one respect, and in another, because the Emperor represents, like, the Hierophant would be the institutions themselves and the status quo, whereas the Emperor represents the establishments within that hierarchy. And the Emperor can represent anything from a college to a university to a hospital, any of those things. When you see the Five of Pentacles, it's usually about accidents and being out of pocket due to accidents. So this looks like a potential hospital stay, you know, and I would say to you in June, be careful. Take care of your health, take care of your physical body. Don't stress yourself unduly, don't put yourself in dangerous situations. You know, if you're going to go water skiing, make sure you wear your life jacket, for crying out loud. You know, if you're going to do things you know, that are, you know, fun but risky, make sure that you minimise all of the potential risks that there are. You know, it's not to say don't enjoy this month. The other part of this as well is because the Emperor can also represent the bank, you know, because it's those smaller institutions within the bigger, wider institution. And this may be you not getting the finance or the funding that you want or need for a project, or it may be you finding some kind of excuse not to commit yourself to your project or to this thing that comes back around to you. And that's why when you're here, certainly in these 2 months, decide whether something really is for you or whether you really have moved past it. Don't then have it come to you and then start throwing blocks out there in your energy and your vibration and saying to the universe, well, now that it's here, I'm not sure that I want to commit to it. Be honest and open about that. You know, is it that you don't want to do this, or is it genuinely that you're worried because you don't have the finance to do it? I refer to Field of Dreams. People will come. Build it and they will come. Sometimes that's the way that it works. It's about the leap of faith as opposed to just, you know, having everything at your disposal just to start with. An interesting point about that actually is when I started this whole tarot channel YouTube thing, I think it was, I remember reaching 30 subscribers and being so happy and so chuffed with that. And you know, now when I see the numbers that I have, I'm just floored and humbled and blown away by it, and that's very much it. You know, I didn't have any subscribers when I started this channel, but I started it anyway, and I had a goal and a dream in mind, and slowly but surely and relentlessly I'm building towards that dream. And sometimes that's what's required of us, you know, to take that leap of faith and just to build it anyway, and then it will come. So yeah, don't worry or stress too much about finances in June, because it's not about those. It's about the fact that you must do what you must do regardless of what stands in your way. Month of July. Oh good, great, yep. So the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords. Now this is a very interesting pairing, because the King of Pentacles, if I were to give him a specific sign, although this can be an earth sign male, Capricorn, Taurus and Virgo, and the King of Swords would be an air sign male, Libra, Aquarius or Gemini. If you want to simplify them down to who they represent, the King of Pentacles would be Taurus and the King of Swords would be Aquarius. And these are very, very differing natures. And I say this because one of the sign that I have least in common with and seem not to get on very well with at all is Taurus. I find it really, really hard to, not to accept them, but the vibrations that we're on are so different that sometimes balancing them causes a bit of friction, and they're both fixed signs, so we're both stubborn as hell. Anyway, so for you Virgo, the month of July is going to be about balancing your practicality with your ideas. And this is one of the things that I love about Virgos actually, is although you are an earth sign, you're very much ideas people. What can I do? How can I build it? Can I learn more about it? You know, you're really proactive with the intellectual side of creating things on a practical level. You know, like you really like to look at the finer aspects and the details and be exacting, and that's a really, really great thing. The King of Pentacles represents that aspect of self that is about creating something tangible, about creating something physical. The King of Swords is all to do with the intellect and the intelligence and the communication and the expression of those ideas. And how do you work these two things? Because they're very opposing natures, they're very opposing features of our personalities, and it's about finding a way to utilise both of them to make a balanced and a whole and a complete life. Very, very exciting. So the month of July, I actually feel like this is going to be about mentors. You know, whether you're in business, whether you're older, whether you're established or not, I feel like this is going to be about mentors. I feel like you will be speaking to a lot of people that are older than you. Even for those of you that are older, I feel like you will be finding people to work with that make you think outside the box, that make you think in new ways. Even for those of you that are into business already, this is about finding people that take your idea and grow it exponentially, and show you where you are actually limiting yourself because your strength of imagination or your thought of how to step outside of the confines of what you know is holding you back. So a very interesting month there, July. Very interesting indeed. August. Two of Wands, beautiful card. Two of Pentacles. Now that is really interesting, because you've got the two kings, and now you've got the two twos. So the number two, or the two of Wands, is all to do with actions. It's about stepping out of the past and stepping into the future. But it's also a card of affluence. This is a card of wealth. It's a card of not having anything to prove. It's a card of deciding where you want to go. It's a card of you know, steering your life. Very interesting as well, as it falls kind of underneath this. This is about steering your life very much in the direction that you want it, by your choice. And then you've got the Two of Pentacles, which is about being thrifty. It's about making very grounded, very practical decisions. I really feel that August is going to be a big money month for you guys. July certainly lays the foundations for you, but August is going to be the month where you start to really cake it. August is going to be the month where you start to really see, for those of you that are involved in business or have personal businesses, August is going to be a really heightened and very powerful month for you guys. You're going to really start to look at and see an increase of wealth. And more importantly, you will find yourself mingling and mixing with people of a very affluent ilk. I can't really put it any more succinct than that. But yeah, I really see people coming into the fold. People that you haven't necessarily met yet. People that are in positions of authority. Absolutely, people that are in positions of authority. So, you know, like I said, you'll have this time out and this stint where things might, you know, you might have to tighten the belt or the wallet, but then you come across these people and these aspects of yourself, and you start to really look at new ways of creating and generating wealth, and then you come into the two twos. This is about finding fruitful partnerships that bring you wealth, that bring you prosperity. So for those August and those in September, happy birthday, Virgos. Strength, beautiful. And the Knight of Cups, lovely. Okay, so the Strength card is literally that. It's about finding our inner strength, our inner courage. It's about finding that part of ourselves that doesn't allow us to give up. But it also represents your heart and your backbone. Because the Strength card actually represents the sign of Leo. Leo's about putting yourself out there. It's about being seen to do things. It's about you know, finding the courage to create and demonstrate and do and be all of the things that you say you want to be, and you know, finding the courage to implement that, to actually do it, to walk the path of the amazing movie or book that you want your life to be. And let's face it, you know, whether anybody is documenting you or whatever is irrelevant. You are starring in your own movie, you're living in your own book. What do you want it to say? How do you want it to be? You know, you are the author of it. You are the director of your life. What does your movie, what is its message? Do you get the girl in the end? Do you get the money? Do you get the house, the car? Do you go and live up a mountain and discover spiritual gifts that no other human has possessed in the last 1,000 years? Whatever it is that you decide to do, whatever it is that you decide to be, your contribution to the universe is absolutely imperative. And it's imperative that you don't waste it. Find the courage within yourself to create that. September's going to be a great month for you. And then on top of that, you've got this, the Knight of Cups. So September, you will have an offer of some kind, because the Knight of Cups is usually, I mean, it can very much be a declaration of love. And given the fact that it falls with the Strength card, you know, the card of Leo, which is the heart, this is about you being given an opportunity to do something that you really love, you know, and not just as a hobby, as a way of life. This is you being given some kind of opportunity to really demonstrate just why that thing is your niche. It's kind of like, you know, if you could tailor make a job for yourself, this would be the month where it happens, you know, where a company, a boss or a mentor or a group would come to you and say, look, we would like you to do this for us. And that's great, it's beautiful. with the Strength card there, you know, part of the cheeky Leo charm is to be able to negotiate the best aspects of this for yourself. So you say to them, yes, actually I'd love to do this for you and I would love to work with you, but this is how I require it to be for it to be the perfect opportunity for me. And that's exactly what you need to do, because all they are giving you is the opportunity. You have to tailor make that opportunity to yourself, and you have to have the courage to commit to it. For those of you that are single, this talks very much about, you know, it's a declaration of love. It's a declaration of somebody coming forward. And this person is having to dig deep and find their courage to come and speak to you. Whether it's because they believe that you're out of their league, whether it's because, you know, they think, oh, this person's not going to be interested in me, or, you know, maybe they don't have time because they're always working, or any number of reasons. So even if you're not into this person and they come to you, be kind and let them down gently, but be honest with them. On another note, for those of you that are coupled, this is about you finding time to be with your partner and to really be with them. This is about you having the courage to say, you know what, I'm going to switch the phone off today. I'm not answering any of my emails. I'm not going here. I'm not going there. You and me are going to spend some time together. Your partner will love you even more for it, and September is the time to do it. October. Three of Swords and Four of Cups. Okay, so this, to me, the words that I'm hearing when I see these two cards together is use it or lose it. Sometimes we sit on things and we wait for things to pass, we procrastinate, and October is not going to be the month where you can do that. If you don't make a decision, one will be made for you. And why do I say that? So the Three of Swords is about... Oh, sorry. The Three of Swords is about separation. The Three of Swords is about letting something go, and more importantly, it's about a hurt that we have in our heart, that we really feel because we are separated from something or from somebody. And then you've got the Four of Cups, which is happy surprises, but it's also a card of being true to yourself and being aware of what you actually have at this moment without asking for more. And that's why I kind of feel like what this says to me in the greatest capacity is use it or lose it. So there is something or someone that you have in your life that you do not truly value, and unless you demonstrate that value, it will either, if it's a person, walk away from you, they will either walk away from you, or if it's a thing or a situation or even a job that you don't value enough, it will be removed from your life. That's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you get a blessing in disguise. So that's something to be aware of in October. November. Two of Cups, beautiful. And the King of Cups. Okay, so this is amazing. So the Two of Cups, true love, commitment, partnership, enjoyment, sex and sensual flair. And then you've got the King of Cups, Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio male. But he's on top of this. This is about somebody that you go into partnership with. For those of you that are single, this is very much a Piscean person coming into your life. Now the interesting thing about this card is the King of Cups is actually the most feminine of all the kings, because he's the one that's more in touch with his feminine energy. Why is he more in touch with his energy? Because he's a water sign, and water is a feminine energy. That doesn't make him weaker. In fact, in some respects, actually, it makes him stronger because he's able to demonstrate, utilise his emotional energy to the best effect. And this person is going to teach you a lot about relationships. It might not necessarily be that this is somebody that you go into a relationship with, but just by your interaction with them and your observation of them and their style of communication within relationships, you start to really look at your own style of communication within relationships, and you can tweak it. And you know, that's a really wonderful place to be in, because it means that you're kind of learning but not having to do anything too far outside of your own remit to do so. I do think it's interesting though that you're having this separation here, just after a declaration of love, and then on top of that you've got this person coming in to really show you how to do relationships, how to do partnerships as well. This could be very much in a business sense, but yeah, October is a very interesting month for you indeed. November even, that is. So December, let's see what December has in store for you. The Hermit card, okay, interesting, because this is the time of year where things sort of grind to a bit of a halt and come closer anyway. And then you've got the Seven of Swords, so, boy, okay. The Hermit card talks about a quest, it talks about an inward journey that we take. Sometimes it can be an actual journey, sometimes it can be us going on a quest of self-discovery. But because it is the 9, it's all to do with completions, it's all to do with endings, it's all to do with closing a cycle. And you know, it's a card of aloneness as opposed to being lonely, which means this is self-imposed solitude. You know, this is somebody seeking to be alone. And when you couple that with this, the Seven of Swords is not a great card, because it talks about lies, it talks about deceit, and it talks about realisation of those things happening. And when I see this, after that, I think this is going to be very much December 2018 will be a deep month of learning, and it's going to be probably because hidden things will be coming to light. And when I say hidden things coming to light, this isn't like the High Priestess where secrets are revealed. I think this is going to be about you through the process of introspection and analysation. You will start to see the gaps and the flaws within certain things and situations in your life. And when you start to see this stuff, the problem is once you've seen it and you know it, you can't unknow it and you can't unsee it. And that usually puts us in a place where it's like, okay, what do I do with this now? How do I separate myself from this? And a tried and true tested method is withdrawal. You know, like, let me just withdraw from the stimulus, from the group, from people, from all of this stuff and the interaction, so that I can step back and really take stock of what is actually important. That's the Hermit. You know, what is important? What have I learnt here? What have I gained? Seven of Swords is realising how deep some betrayals go, realising how much some people have kept from you or hidden from you. It's not a great way to end the year off, but one thing that I will say is, once you know, you know. And that's the best part of it. You know, not every year of our lives is going to be easy. Not every month that we have is going to be easy. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be worth it. And therein lie the difference. You know, there are some really great moments in this year for you. It looks like, though, groups, family, possibly authority figures at some points might cause a bit of contention. Personal relationships, intimate relationships, you know, there's definitely going to be some testing waters there. But all in all, it's not a bad year. It's one of deep and very, very powerful learning, if you allow it to be. And then finally, I've been using the Luminous Spirit Tarot for the key to the year, which is kind of like your overall message or theme, or one of the things that you really need to know. They're beautiful in their simplicity, and I absolutely love them. So let's see what yours is for 2018. You get Wow. Okay, so you get the Tower. Again, guys, you know me. I don't bullshit you. I just tell you how it is. This is not. It's not that it's not a great card. It's more that it's not an easy card, and this is kind of what I was hinting at. Sometimes we allow people, situations, things in our lives to become something, and we rely on them to stay exactly the same way that they are, that we think we've built them. And sometimes people rely on that to spin a web of illusion around us. And then we just kind of go through it, and these things that we've built up in our lives, this tower that we've built up in our lives, comes crashing down when we have the realisation that actually we've been lied to, and pretty fucking monumentally too. Now the really interesting thing is here, I'll go into in just a minute, you know, sometimes, and that's a really painful experience to realise that actually some people and situations who we thought we knew inside and out, actually we don't. And it forces everything into question. That's a good thing. And the best thing about your life or the world or whatever falling apart around you is once the dust clears and the rubble settles, you've then got terra firma. So this is going to be a year of elimination throughout your life, Virgo. You know, there's going to be people, things, situations, lots of changes, big sweeping changes will be gracing your life this year. And at the end of it, your social circle, all of it, it's going to look vastly different to how it did at the beginning of the year. But that's a good thing, because what is left at the end of the year, you can trust 100%. Okay? The Tower, the number 16, numerology, 1-6 gives you 7. The Chariot card, number 7, 7 of Swords there. So you've got 3 sevens. That's 777, which is all to do with luck. While there will be some very difficult aspects in this year ahead for you, there will be some amazing insights and there will be some amazing understandings. 7 is your power number for this year. Use it wisely. Carry it in your wallet. You know, whenever, and because 7's the number of introspection and learning, and it's about figuring out why you are having the experience that you're having. Be vigilant and be diligent and be kind to yourself no matter what happens this year. I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. Have an amazing 2018, and I will see you very soon for more videos. I love you. Goodbye.